Okay. Yesterday I promised I will tell you.
Churning of ocean.
Yes. The first point we have to know, these incidents in the Puranas, Bhagavatam, Mahabharata, or any, they allegories. Allegory means what? Like a parable. Every parable, at every level, you understand in a particular way. For example, what is the allegory of Mahabharata?
Fight between
Pancha-Pandavas
five senses.
fighting with 100 Kauravas, and here is chariot Arjuna and Sri Krishna. Actually, this chariot imagery is compared to Gayatri. Dhiyo yonaha prachodaya. Here, who is the one? Sri Krishna is the is the divinity. The Arjuna says, I surrender myself to you. We meditate upon you. Means what? We surrender ourselves to you. You drive, that means you guide my life. Prachodana means, chodana means literally driving. So you drive this vehicle. This is Ratha. Kathopanishad also is this given. So these Puranas should not be read as historical events. It might have happened, might not have happened. That's not the purpose. We are not talking about history. We are talking about what lessons we can learn from here. I already told you Prahlada's story. That pillar stands for what? It hides God. What is it that hides God? Ego. So break the ego, and that ego is nothing but God only hiding there inside. What is it that stands between us and God? Only egotism. So this story, it is a most beautiful story. It is called Samudra Manthana. Samudra means ocean. Manthana means churning of the ocean. Here is the story that actually is presented in the Bhagavatam. One day, Indra was traveling in his divine Airavata. Then, just then, Durvasa Rishi, there is a Rishi, supposed to be a very angry man. Always the anger is at the tip of his nose. So, he was coming from Vishnu, Bhagavan Vishnu. And Bhagavan Vishnu presented him with a beautiful garland. He was coming with that garland. He encountered Indra traveling. And Indra respected him. So Durvasa was pleased. He gave that garland to Indra. Now what did Indra do? He disrespected. So if somebody gives you something and you throw it out, the other person, the giver, understands that you don't really respect him. You throw it down. So Indra threw that garland on the trunk of the elephant Airavata. And the Airavata simply took it, threw it, and trampled underground. That means highest disrespect. Then Durvasa saw all these things. He cursed. You have become very arrogant because you think you are the God. All gods are like that. Very soon the demons will come and will divest you of your glory. After a few days, the demons, Rakshasas or Asuras, is constant theme. Daiva and Asura Yuddha. So they will come. And it happened. So all these gods, they have lost. This is a recurring story. Chandi also you get this AM story, and then whenever they like that, they go to Vishnu. First they go to Brahma. Brahma says, I am helpless because I only gave the boons to all the Asuras. And then sometimes they also go to Shankara, and he also confesses, I only gave the boon to his brother. And ultimately it's all creation of Vaishnavas. They all go to Vishnu. And then they all went to Vishnu with Brahma. Why did you come? Because we lost our kingdom, we lost our glory, we lost our happiness, and these are supposed to be good people. They came to their senses, they went and said. Then the Lord Vishnu says that there is you have a bad time because of your bad karma you have lost. But you wait for some time. If you want ever to be always victorious, never lose your happiness. Losing kingdom means what? Losing happiness. Losing anything means what? Losing happiness. If a wife says, I lost my husband, means lost the happiness. Vice versa. Children, parents, property, anything that belongs, even losing the health, body, etc. It's all for the sake of happiness only. So if you want to have happiness which will not be lost at any time, there is only one way. You must become amaras. Amara means deathless. And how to? By drinking amrita. So mrita means death. Mriti. Mrita means death. Amrita, na mrita. That means death. Deathlessness. So only by drinking. What is the drinking? We'll come to that allegory later on. So where is this amrita available? It is hidden everywhere. But you will have to, like butter is there already. But you have to churn the first milk has to be heated, then it must be made to transform into curds, then you churn, then the butter will come. So this is the process you have to do. So what you do is that you go to the Samudra and throw, Vishnu was advising, throw all the varieties of spices, plants, etc. into it, and you go and make friends with your cousin brothers. Because Daityas, Asuras are who? Cousin brothers only. So nobody from long distance will not come. It is your immediate people only that become your enemies. Yeah. So always these Asuras we must not forget, our closest relatives. Relatives. That's why they say, where there is a will, there is a relative. So you have to churn this ocean, but ocean churning requires tremendous strength. You alone cannot do it. So you go and make peace and these asuras, that let us all enjoy amrita, because what are the asuras after?
Happiness.
Only happiness. Devas are also. Only thing is the instruments they use are wrong instruments. That's all. So you do this, and then you need one churning rod. What is the churning rod? It is an ocean. Therefore the churning rod is Mandara Parvata. Huge. But churning rod also needs a rope for churning. What is that rope? Vasuki. A rope is, it comes later on. So this Mandara Parvata will be the churning rod, and the rope to churn it is God's own Vahana. So with this, if you churn, then as you are starting to churn, certain things will happen. The very first thing that happens is halahala poison will come out. Most virulent poison will come out. And you have to find out a way, and Vishnu told, don't tell anybody, it is secret text message, go to Shiva. He is the fellow to be given all poison. All Lakshmi and all those things will come to me. But hala poison will go only to So he told the secret. And then he said, many things will come. And most things are very alluring temptations. But you have to be careful. If you are satisfied with them, then you will not get amrita. You should be very careful. These are keep aside and go on looking. And if you renounce everything, ultimately amrita will come. After churning, what remains? What is this amrita? That is the, no, we'll come to that. This amrita is what makes a person eternally fearless, deathless, and eternally, infinitely happy. Who is the person? There is a Vaidya, it is called Deva Vaidya, called Dhanvantari. Will come. So this is the process, you will have to do it. And then the gods went, and then Mandara Parvata is a huge Parvata, that itself required, but God Vishnu says, I will help you with the help of my Garuda, so that he will push it. So they manage it to push this Manthara Parvata into the ocean. Then then they went to the Rakshasas and cousin brothers. It is not right for us to quarrel all the time, and we are after all close relatives. Let us all work, churn this one. Amrita will come, and then we will drink. And the plan of these devatas is when the nectar comes, we will find out a scheme to make them, deprive them. And exactly the same thing they were also talking. The Rakshasas also were planning exactly, okay, we will take advantage of these fellows, but when the result comes, we will push them out. The coalition governments like that. So this was being done. But then a problem came. This most powerful Vasuki, it has several heads and also a tail. And if whoever catches hold of the tail is safe, but otherwise if they catch hold of the head, then the poison starts, whatever comes out of those mouths will endanger lives. It is real poison. So the devatas, they are very clever politicians. So they went and told, that was also, I think Vishnu only told them secretly, that you tell them, because we are gods, we will catch hold of the heads. And you are Rakshasas, Shudras, inferior fellows, you will catch hold of the tail. And they went and told, we will catch hold of the head, but you will catch hold of the tail. The moment these words were uttered, they took umbrance and said, who said that we are? You are inferior to us. We will catch hold of the head. Vishnu was very clever, So the god said, all right, when you say so, it's okay for us. And then these poor brainless fellows, they got hold of that side and then the tail long distance, and they started churning. So certain things have happened. The first thing that happened was, as they were churning, and Vasuki was getting hotter and hotter, and poisonous fumes started coming out in the form of like gas, and then many of these asuras, they were falling down. That was what actually the devatas are also wanting. But now these Rakshasas cannot say, because they themselves fought for it and got it, and then now you suffer in the hot seat. So slowly what has happened, this Mandara mountain became so heavy, it started to go to the bottom of the ocean. Now if it falls, it must always float. Otherwise the pot itself will go away, and then the churning is not possible. Then they prayed to Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu took the form of a tortoise, and on its back he was supporting this churning rod, and then even then it has to float. So Vishnu ordered Garuda that you keep it balanced. So the kurma doesn't allow it to fall down, the tortoise, and Garuda will keep it floating, so that it will not, if it sits there touching, then you cannot churn, it must be free. That roller balls should be there. Kurma acted as roller balls, and he acted as a little bit of V-way like that. Then the churning went on. So the very first thing that came is virulent poison, and all the worlds started dying, crying. Then Vishnu already told. So immediately they approached Lord Shiva, said, Lord, you are the rescuer. For all other times it was Vishnu. At this time it is only Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva was very compassionate. The moment anybody says, Shiva, you are the most wonderful, he will give any boon you want. That's why he is called Ashutosha. Ashu means very quickly, Tosha. Yeah, he is also called Bholanath. Yeah, Bhola means what? Brainless. Without thinking, he will do whatever he likes. That's what we think. So he said, I will take. So he took that whole poison and he was drinking. But it was said, Parvati, she will not allow that poison to go down because Shiva is holding all the worlds inside his Brahmanda Bhanda Udare, Kali Rudare, Brahmanda Bhanda. Mother Kali. This idea, Mother Kali, Shiva, Vishnu, they are having all the whole worlds inside their stomach. So, Mother constricted the throat so that poison has gone inside, but it will not go so that it will harm the worlds. That is why the whole throat has become blue. So that is why he is called Neelakantha. Neela means blue. That's what happened. So that poison has gone. After that, as they were churning, wonderful things started coming out. For example, Kalpavriksha came, Parijata came, and Vichayasravasa, the horse, which is used, the divine horse. Then Airavata, which Indra had taken for the elephant. And then Kalpavriksha. And then various beautiful women, gems, all these things have started coming out from the ocean. Because we say that it's called Ratnakara. Ratna means jewels. All the jewels are hidden there. We don't know how many things are there really inside. So started coming out. And various people, the moment they saw, they started grabbing. Not the main people, the other people. Even rishis were tempted. And then at last came the most glorious, beautiful woman in the whole world. And everybody wanted it. Wanted it. Who was that? Lakshmi Devi. But Lakshmi Devi will not go to anybody. Nobody can take her. She herself has said, I will only go to Vishnu. Is a symbolism is there. But Lakshmi Devi here represents perfect happiness. That's what, not money. A person can have plenty of wealth, name, fame, power, knowledge, position. But if he is not happy, that's why Lakshmi means success. Success means what? Fulfillment. A person may get things, but he is not having that inner joy. That means he is not successful. He is a damn failure it is. That's why it is said, there is a beautiful story, the fable of the 5 richest men in the whole world. 1923 or 24, I think I told you. 5 most powerful people on earth. Biggest, Wall Street president and iron industry president in America met in one of the biggest hotels. 1923. 23 years passed. What happened to them? Some committed suicide, some were confined to lunatic asylum, and some died penniless, some died in the jail. All of them is the worst type of life anybody can have. So, is that success? What is success? Even if a person has got little, he is so happy, so fulfilled, his life is blessed. That is called Lakshmi. So, on one side it is Lakshmi, on another side it is wisdom. Wisdom is represented by Saraswati, and they always stay together. Where there is wisdom, there is joy. Sat, Chit, and Ananda will be there. So Lakshmi straight went and sat Kaustubha Mani. Also came from this, all the best things in this world. And then at last came the divine physician called Dhanvantari with a pot. And then he came out, and now the purpose was served, the churning was complete. Here is the amrita. Who will get the amrita? Then there was a terrible quarrel. What did the Rakshasas do? Being more audacious, courageous and strong, they simply took. The moment they took, they was meh.
They went to Vishnu.
Again go to Vishnu. Poor Vishnu, so he has no option but to come to the risk. What did he do? He took the most tempting form of Mohini, the very name Mohini. And that story later on follows, this Mohini was so enchanting. So when these Rakshasas were about to distribute and drink themselves, depriving the Devas, then the Mohini went and stood. The moment all the Asuras started gaping at her. Forgot totally. Then they said, here, why do we want to quarrel? Here is the deserving person. Let us hand over this Amrita Bhanda and let her distribute. And this fellow, Vishnu, Mohini, this Mohini said, no, you don't know what you are talking. I am a public woman. You should never believe any public woman. That is the first rule. And if anybody says, don't believe me. So the Rakshas, even more impressed by her, already impressed, they hand over. So she said, these Devas, Kuchka fellows, let them sit separately. They are not fit to sit with you. This I added a little bit. So she separated the Rakshasas and separated the Devas and then started smiling at the demons, Asuras, and distributing, she was very graciously looking at the Asura, and they were all looking and drinking. What were they drinking?
No.
Or smile.
Alcohol.
Or smile. Mesmerized. And all the amrita was given. But one clever fellow, he understood. So he jumped the queue and then went and sat there. And I think it was Surya, and he noticed it immediately, looked at Mohini and said, and then immediately Vishnu took out, the Mohini took out the chakra and then cut. By that time, the amrita has gone a little bit up to here. So from here, it fell down, but this became immortal. That is what we call the grahana, eclipse like that, Rahu and Ketu, like that. Anyway, this is the story. So this is the main basic story, allegory of it. But before that, I will tell you, this Mohini, everybody forgot. And much later, Shiva heard about Mohini and he became curious. And one day he met Vishnu while walking. He said, my friend, it seems you assumed the form of Mohini. Would you like to show it to me? Vishnu said, you are a sannyasi. Why do you want to look at Mohini? You are putting on tiger skin and then meditating. You gave up your own wedded wife also. Why do you want? No. I want to just to see. I am a monk. I am not affected. I just want to see. I am curious to know. And then Vishnu said, okay, one day I will show you, not today. So after a few days, when Shiva was forgot the whole incident and he was walking, suddenly he found the most alluring, beautiful garden in the Himalayas where nothing grows. Birds were chirping, music was being played, and then he was wondering, not able to think, how could this in this midwinter season, this beautiful garden has sprung up here? And then he went forward and suddenly he saw this Mohini. And he could not hold himself. He rushed. He had a crush. Went and embraced. And he was in Brahmanandam Paramasukadam. After a few seconds he opened and he saw Vishnu broadly smiling. So the Purana says he lost his seed, and then that seed became the enemy of Tarakasura, and later on he had to be killed. Only the son of Shiva could kill. So this is how Purana connects. Shiva will not produce a son. So this is how his seed became the Tarakasura's enemy, and that is how he went and killed him. This is the power. Coming back, what is the allegory of this one? The whole world is Samudra, because infinite varieties of things are there. And our mind is the churning rod. And our mind contains both gods and demons. What do gods and demons represent? What do gods represent? Daiva Asura Sampat Vibhaga Yoga, 16th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita.
Okay.
What is it called? The chapter named as the division between divine and demonic qualities. This is the allegory is explained there. Divine qualities are those which take us forward towards our own nature. And demonic qualities are those which pull us down from happiness, from Sat, from Chit and from Ananda. This is a constant battle between these two. This is also the allegory of Dharma Kshetre, Guru Kshetre, Samaveta Yutsava. We discussed it in our class. So this world is that Samudra, it is infinite, it contains all those things, and our life is intimately connected with it, but God has given us the mind, and with this mind, with the help of a rope, we should churn with this mind this world. And if we churn means what? Separate the chaff from the grain, the butter from the milk, and then that is called amrita. Otherwise we will go on drinking poison, etc. It means if you want to be eternal, immortal, you will have to get that knowledge. What is that nectar? Amrita, self-knowledge. The nectar represents. Dhanvantari is represented by whom? Guru. Because it is the Guru who
He
carries
brings the water. Okay.
So, this mind is like a manthana. And so, very heavy. Heavy with what? All thoughts.
Oh, yeah.
So many. Infinite number of thoughts. And what type of thoughts? Both
Good and
good
bad.
and bad. In the initial stage, which thoughts dominate?
Bad thought.
Only animal thoughts. These are called asuras. And that means we lose our knowledge, our wisdom, our happiness, and our health. Everything is lost because of these wicked thoughts. So, whenever we feel unhappy, we pray to God, "Oh Lord, how can I be happy?" Then He says that you will have to drink the nectar of self-knowledge. And where is the self-knowledge? You will have to churn. When you churn, then only it will come. Churn means what? Discriminating what is real, what is unreal, and meditating upon the lotus feet of God. That is called the process of churning. This churning should be done with by whom? The mind must churn the mind, because the whole world contains where?
Within the mind.
Thoughts, different thoughts. Excepting our mind, we don't know what the world is. So, but it requires a
Rope.
rope. What is the rope? Shastra Shravana, the teachings of great people, that is the one with which we churn. We must have some guidance. But what happens? Sometimes mind becomes heavier. So when the mind becomes heavier, that means it refuses to do it. So it must be supported. Who is the supporter?
God.
Lord Vishnu. In which form?
Tortoise.
Tortoise. What is the
Control your
speciality?
senses.
It withdraws. It has the ability to withdraw its limbs whenever danger strikes. That means the yogi who is capable of doing chitta nirodha, controlling the mind, that is the kurma. But at the same time, we must have balance. And that balance can come only from God. And the balance comes in the form of dhiyo yonah prachodaya. that Prachodayat should come in the form of Garutman. Why?
What?
Garuda. Garuda is the Vahana.
Focus.
Vahana means one who carries God is Vahana.
Yeah.
Who carries the God
Our
to us?
consciousness. Our
Guru.
Guru. Oh.
Guru.
Garuda's guru
Garutman
is like,
is one who carries God to us. In Ramayana allegory I told, Hanuman represents
Yes.
he carries God
Yeah.
to see. He brings the news of God
Yeah.
and to
To
Sita,
Sita.
and he carries Rama and Lakshmana to spirituality and dharma both.
Okay.
So Garutman in the form of the
Guru.
Guru's grace, Guru's grace.
Grace. Okay.
That is the symbolism. But we need to churn this correct, we need all the energy that we have. If mind is divided, these are good thoughts, these are bad thoughts, and they are fighting with each other, this churning can never be done. So that means what? So you make friends with your negative thoughts, but use them for everything. This is what we elaborately discuss. There is no negative thought. Negative purpose is negative thought. Positive purpose, even a so-called negative thing will become only
Positive.
positive. Tamoguna is good for spiritual life. Why? Because if you can use tamoguna to sleep deeply even for few hours, you wake up very fresh with full of energy. That is how tamoguna can help. Rajoguna can help. Sattva-guna of course will help. Every guna is good. That is the Garutman. So that means do not allow your mind to be divided into two. This is good thought, this is bad thought. Unite them. That is called, what is it, Itishan Maharaj? Integration of the subconscious. If we want to be whole, mind should not be divided into, and this is unconscious pulling that way, this is conscious mind pulling. Then Dustashva eva sarade, Upanishad says, and two horses are pulling the chariot this way, and three horses are pulling this way, and what one horse is standing, what would be the result?
Oh my God.
This chariot will not go anywhere. Not only that, it is dangerous. So, how to integrate our personality in the most meaningful way, that is the first thing we need to do, and that is accomplished by the practice of yama and niyama. I told you, the purpose of yama is to get rid of the negative qualities. The purpose of niyama is to acquire, strengthen the positive qualities. Many times we discussed.
So what do you mean by yama? So
Later on. Otherwise we can't complete the story, So this combine. Make the mind one single whole, driven to a particular purpose in one direction, and then when we go on doing it, that is to say, when a person starts leading an intense spiritual journey, what is the first thing that happens? Hala poison will come. What is the hala poison? The whole subconscious, unconscious mind arises and says, hey, what a foolish fellow. Nobody has seen God. Nobody proved the scriptures. And this is all delusion. Maybe you are wasting your time. Here are wonderful things. Go and enjoy them. This is our negative thought, biggest negative thought, because now the whole mind has joined. So whenever such a doubt comes, and it will come, and make us deviate from that, then only one person, one being can help us. So is that
Shankara.
Shiva. Who is Shiva? What does he represent? He represents knowledge. What is the knowledge? Scriptural knowledge. No, this doubt is completely harmful to you, because so many Mahapurushas have experienced God. So Shiva always represents knowledge. What does knowledge do? It destroys ignorance. In the form of what? Doubts, vacillations, weakenings, all these negative results. Ignorance never attacks us directly. Like electricity, never attacks us directly.
Correct. Medium.
Never manifests. It always manifests in the form of light, heat, movement and attraction, magnetism, etc., isn't it? So, ignorance never attacks us directly, but it comes in the form of doubt and restlessness of the mind, pulling in different directions. All those, when you are meditating, suddenly you remember some activity which you could do after 10 years. These are the distractions, Mahamaya's distraction. We must keep an eye. What can keep these things away? Only knowledge. What is the knowledge? Through experience we get something. This is the only thing which can help us. That is called Shiva. So that with that Shiva he continues. If a yogi, spiritual aspirant, continues, overcomes this kashaya, this is in yogic language, this is called obstruction. How many obstructions?
Yesterday.
Four obstructions.
Okay.
You know what is the four obstructions? The first obstruction to yoga is called laya. Laya means sleep. The moment you start meditating or listening to my talk, what is the first thing that happens? That's why I have to tell jokes, to keep you awake. So this is the first thing. Laya means the mind entering into tamasic state. Somehow, if we can overcome, the next thing that comes is vikshepa. Mind becomes very restless. Okay, I am not asleep, but I don't want to think this thought. Various thoughts. Restlessness. Somehow, if we can overcome that, the third obstruction, according to Gaudapada, Kashaya. Kashaya means the whole idea of God, spiritual life, afterlife looks like virulent Kashaya. A bitter Ayurvedic medicine. That means not to our liking. If somebody, a yogi, can somehow through effort, God's grace, Guru's grace can overcome the last and the most sinister obstruction is Ananda. How can Ananda be obstruction? That is what Sri Ramakrishna gives analogy. Merchants selling grain in vast stores, all, full of this paddy. Rats will enter. But they put one small bag full of fried rice. Fried rice means what? Fragrant rice. And that fragrance attracts the rats. They have forgotten the main thing and then went on attacking only just to divert them. So they will never look at these things. All the tempting objects that we get, they are like the fried rice.
The lower ananda, lower level happiness.
You can say that is even at a higher level ananda. I want to go to Swargaloka. I want to enjoy lower. Divine music. They all fall under anything non-spiritual is represented by this ananda. Because if you want Brahmananda, you have to give up all the other four anandas. Vishayananda, then Medhananda, then Kalananda, then Dharmananda. Then only Brahmananda. Anywhere you get stuck, you will be there. So, these many tempting things will come. So, Pariyata means whatever you want. You want to become minister, you want to become Einstein, you want to become anything you want, you will get. That is called Pariyata or Kalpavriksha. Whatever you desire, all your desires will be fulfilled. But you will not become immortal. So, Yamadharmaraja tempts Nachiketa. Yes. Live as long as you want. Enjoy whatever divine objects are there. But he was not tempted. That is the allegory of that. So all these things will come. Vishnu means Divine Lord, is cautioning when a spiritual aspirant is progressing in this meditative state, churning the mind, that means he is throwing out all the unnecessary things. Only the truth must come out, and truth alone can make us free and happy. It's called Satya. Satya comes from the word Sat. And to find out Satya is called Chit, wisdom. That is, then only Ananda will come. They will be together. So people were tempted. Indra stopped his work and then took Airavata And somebody has taken Vichai somebody has taken, so many gems, so many things, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, innumerable things are coming. But already the Lord has warned, do not fall into the temptations. Otherwise, you will get these things because this is karma. So result you will get. But if you are happy with this, then you will not become a yogi. You will not achieve immortality. So all these things, ultimate enjoyment of all these things is called Lakshmi. That is the ultimate ananda which one has to. This is called Brahmakara Vritti. Sri Ramakrishna had almost achieved Brahman realization. But what was the abstraction? Divine Mother.
Mm-hmm.
No, you go to Vaikuntha, and so long as you think that I am different from Lord Vishnu, that is not the highest happiness. To be one with Vishnu is the highest happiness. To be separate from Vishnu, even if it is 1 millimeter difference, billimeter difference, is also that much you cannot enjoy fully. If you want 100%, you have to be one with 100%. So Lakshmi, everybody wanted. But Lakshmi said, I will not go to anybody. Why? Because if I go to you, you will be a selfish fellow. I will go only to that person who is the most unselfish in the world. And who is the most unselfish person? Yeah, it is like, you water the root, the whole tree will get. So if you, Lakshmi goes to Vishnu, it goes to everybody. So that is the idea. That's why Lakshmi will not go to anybody. That means he is the nature of Paramananda Swarupa, because he distributes it to everybody. Then, after all this were subsided, then at last comes the Guru is pleased. Brahmopadesha. What is this? Amrita Brahmopadesha. But then, if that nectar is drunk, then power will come. And if that power is misutilized, then the demons will reign. So Vishnu was Mohini, the last Agni Pariksha. Do you want Amrita or do you want this lower happiness? So they were all. Well, this is the symbolism. So we should be careful. Do you want God's powers or do you want
God.
And the Devas are those people who by this time was chastised, purified, they understood what is what. Allegory we are talking about. We don't want anything excepting God. Only for them the Amrita is distributed by the Divine Lord. So what does that mean? Was he discriminating against Rakshasas? No. Here Amrita means what? Self-knowledge. Do these Asuras want self-knowledge?
No.
They want happiness, worldly happiness. They don't want self-knowledge. They want, what knowledge they want? Non-self-knowledge. And if there is a lot of philosophy involved in it, what is your Ananda? Define Ananda. Ananda is nothing but knowledge. If you think I am happy, you are happy. Is there anything else? If you think you are not happy, if you think, that means I am miserable. Do you understand what I am talking about? Ananda or Sukha or Dukkha is what?
It's a thought driven by
Knowledge. Knowledge. So that's why I gave that young man who went to embrace his beloved in a village. What
In
was
the
he
dark.
embracing?
a bear.
Bear. And the bear must be praised because it was forbearing. It could have finished the fellow, and it was also shocked,
Yes.
And he must have been pleased. Somebody is very happy to hug me. He did not know that why he was hugging. Anyway, what is the point here? Happiness and unhappiness is a piece of knowledge. But both are obstructions for self-knowledge. You must go beyond the thought, beyond both dvandva, and that means beyond mind.
What does Mohini symbolizes in this?
Test.
Test.
Do you want? That is what I interpret. When Sri Totapuri came and said, do you want Brahma knowledge? Yes, I want Brahma knowledge. Then you have to overcome all thoughts. Yes, I can overcome all thoughts, but I cannot overcome this thought. Why? Because that thought was the most pleasure-giving thought in the whole world. The idea of Divine Mother. But that is a thought.
Still.
So that thought is what separates us from our own self. So that thought must be merged in the self. And that is what Totapuri said, no, this is also a thought. You have to overcome that. So he helped him in some way. And then that Divine Mother disappeared. Disappeared means what? Not gone away. But now Divine Mother and Sri Ramakrishna had become one. When they become one, the Divine Mother also disappears. Sri Ramakrishna also disappears. What remains?
Just the thought.
Only Brahma.
Only Brahma, sorry.
That is the symbolism. That's why Rama tested Sita, Agni Pariksha. Why did he not know? But if there is any unconscious remembrance, after all, Ravanasura, you have to understand, he was the most charismatic personality in the whole world next to Rama. Only Rama is can beat Ravanasura, not anybody. Hundreds of women, simply they saw him and then voluntarily ran. Such was the power. Maybe Sita was seeing him and maybe some unconscious thought would come. So many stories. Why this Gautama Rishi cursed his wife, Ahalya.
The wrong thought she had that
she saw. Yeah. And then Indra. And she compared with her husband. She didn't want to do something wrong, but the temptation came. That's why she gave in. That is why, do you think that Gautama Rishi cursed her for nothing? If she was innocent? No. Then what could purify her? What could remove this temptation from her mind? Only Rama's feet. The glory of Rama's feet only can do that. So, coming back to the Samudra Manthana story, each one of us, we have to churn this ocean called the world with the help of our mind, which consists of good and evil thoughts. But without the grace of God, it is not possible. God's grace in the form of firm faith supports us. God's grace in the form of discrimination in the form of Garuda keeps up the balance. But in the process of spiritual practice, so first poison will come, thereafterwards temptations will come. Only when we can overcome both negative and positive effects, ultimately then will come the self-knowledge, dharma, through the grace of the Guru. And when it comes, the last pariksha is still whether you are tempted by the world in the form of Mohini. Because who can resist God in the form of Mohini? If an old ugly woman comes, anybody can say, no, we are not interested in it, isn't it? Shiva himself, Gnanam, has become Agnanam by seeing Mohini. Such is the power. So the Rakshasas could not resist. That means they completely remove. But the gods means what? Sincere, spiritual, aspirant. He deserves it, and so God has given, not discrimination. You deserve it, you get it. You get what you deserve. You wanted to see me and enjoy me, you will get me. But these people wanted not Mohini. Remember?
But God already gave them heads up.
Just remember, when Mohini was present, were the gods looking at her or not?
Yeah.
Were they tempted?
No.
They were not tempted. Who was tempted?
But they knew at the beginning that they have to wait for the Dhanvantri bringing the pot.
We are talking about allegory. So beginning, they were all sadhakas like us.
Okay.
But by the time they went through all this, they became firm in their knowledge that we do not want this even personal God. We want the
Ultimate.
nectar, self-knowledge. I want to know who I am.
Right.
So that comes only through Guru's grace. And last, Agni Pariksha. You understand now? Whether any remnants unconsciously, like Vishwamitra will fall down like a pack of cards. No, we are not going, because they are seeing, all of them. We want only self-knowledge. So God has given. It is not to say, no, you can interpret, oh, he was partial to Devas. He was not partial. He who has the capacity to receive self-knowledge, only he will get it. Even if you give self-knowledge to some person who doesn't deserve it, he cannot keep it. Kalpatarude, it is clearly proved by Sri Ramakrishna. He touched many people. Most people could not hold it, even though they got it. What does that show? That we need to be
Ready for
capable, fit recipients, even to receive the God's grace, Guru's grace, Shastra Kripa. How many types of graces we need?
Just one God's grace. Guru, God.
We need Ishvara Kripa, we need Guru Kripa, we need Shastra Kripa, we need Vaishnava Kripa, we need Atma Kripa. Guru Kripa, Ishvara Kripa, God's grace. Guru Kripa, Guru's grace. Shastra Kripa means the Shastra must bestow the grace and say, this is what I mean, not what you stupid fellow, this is, you may read scriptures.
Correct knowledge.
But Shastra Kripa should be there. And then Vaishnava Kripa means other aspirants, they should be able to encourage us, protect
Satsang.
us. Vaishnava means fellow spiritual aspirant. Even if one person has got all the 4 Kripas, but for the lack of one Kripa, whose Kripa? My own Kripa, my own mind.
Mind, yeah.
I go to ruins. So, what is more? We got all the 4. Now we need only
My
one
Atma
Kripa, my own Kripa. And for that you can't blame me. You have to blame yourself. That Atma means not self. Atma means me,
Just
my
self.
mind. But that will come. With these 4, it is going to come, but slowly. So this beautiful allegory that the life is given to us for what purpose? Only to drink the nectar. And that nectar can be obtained only by churning the ocean. Churning means practice of discrimination, practice of spiritual disciplines. And that can be done only by the grace of Ishvara Kripa, Guru Kripa, Shastra Kripa, Vaishnava Kripa and
Atma Kripa.
Atma Kripa. We got all the 4. Now we have to pray, oh mind, please do not put any obstacle. When I sit for meditation, don't pull me here and there. Let me think only about you. And if you do that, it will come. So, ultimately, this God will come in the form of Guru and he will tell you, Tattvamasi, and we will know. Then there is no fear, there is no unhappiness, and we will be freed, and eternally we will enjoy this world.
Sorry. I saw a murti of Dhanvantri yesterday, and he had a pot in one hand. And
Exact.
he had another, what is it? What is that in the other hand?
Danda.
Is it danda
Churning.
or is it like
Danda.
scriptures or I don't know. It's like,
Dhanvantari represents Guru. Guru's only purpose is Atma Gnana. We are talking about real Guru, not computer Guru and other Gurus. But even that also only through
আমি মোগলটা 6টার সময় যাবো তো পড়াশোনাতে আসবো আপনার ঘরে যদি আলোচনা হয়
and Guru represents scripture. And the protection of the scripture. Shastra Kripa means, you know what? You will not deviate from the scriptural teachings. Guru teaches, but who protects? While we are performing, the scripture has to protect us. And scripture protects us by parayana,
পারায়ণ means
constant repetition.
Chanting.
Yeah, punaravritti. That is why it is called parayana. You go on reading Gita or Ramayana or whatever it is. and it will come to our aid. Why is Parayana insisted? Because we tend to forget the teachings of the scriptures. So they say they tempt, if you repeat 100 times, you will get this result and that. But that is only just to give chocolates to the child and to eat the homeopathic medicine. But really speaking, it is the real purpose is curing this disease. Every story, you give me the story, I will tell you the allegory, but you think over it. Whether it is Ramayana, Mahabharata or Bhagavatam, all stories have a deep meaning, and that itself is a great sadhana to think what could be the meaning. You come to your own understanding, but that's a good meditation.
What about listening in YouTube?
You listen to wherever, but you will have to make it your own. So that is what is outside, whether listening to me or listening to YouTube, that is source knowledge coming from outside. But once you listen, you will have to make it your own. That's important.